Turkey is a land steeped in history, a crossroads of empires and civilizations spanning millennia. Its story is one of grandeur, conquest, and cultural fusion, known and celebrated worldwide. But beneath the surface of famous monuments and well-trodden paths lies another narrative. It's a stranger, often overlooked history filled with events that defy easy explanation or conventional understanding. We are about to delve into 7 of the most bizarre historical occurrences from this fascinating land. These are tales that seem plucked from fiction, yet are rooted in documented accounts and lingering mysteries. They reveal the eccentricities of powerful rulers, the impact of unexplained natural phenomena, and the echoes of forgotten tragedies. Together, they offer a captivating, sometimes unsettling, glimpse into Turkey's multifaceted and unpredictable past. Prepare to see history through a different, much stranger lens. Our journey into the bizarre begins in the 17th century, during the height of the Ottoman Empire. This is the era of Hezarfen Ahmed, an inventor and polymath whose ambition soared beyond the earthly realm. Hezarfen allegedly conceived a daring plan to fly across the mighty Bosphorus Strait, the waterway dividing Europe and Asia in Istanbul. His method was not a machine, but a pair of carefully constructed artificial wings, designed after studying the flight of birds. According to the renowned traveler and writer Evliya Çelebi, who claimed to be an eyewitness, Hezarfen launched himself from the Galata Tower. This towering structure offered a significant height advantage for his audacious attempt. Evliya Çelebi's account describes Hezarfen gliding across the water, successfully landing on the Asian side of Istanbul. It was a feat that, if true, would predate modern aviation by centuries. The reigning Sultan, Murad IV, was reportedly present and initially impressed by Hezarfen's incredible achievement. He rewarded the inventor with gold and recognition for his ingenuity and bravery. However, the Sultan's admiration soon turned to suspicion. Fearing that a man capable of such a feat might possess dangerous power or knowledge, Murad IV ultimately decided to exile Hezarfen. He was sent to Algeria, where he is said to have died. The story of Hezarfen's flight remains a subject of intense debate and mystery, blurring the lines between historical fact and captivating legend. Imagine a thriving community, full of life and activity one day, and then eerily silent and empty the next. This is the story of Kayaköy, a village in southwestern Turkey. Once a vibrant Greek village known as Levisi, it was home to thousands of people living alongside their Turkish neighbors for centuries. Then, seemingly overnight, it was abandoned. Today, Kayaköy stands as a perfectly preserved ghost town. Its stone houses, churches, and schools remain, but they are empty shells, windows staring out like vacant eyes. Inside the crumbling buildings, remnants of daily life were left behind. Untouched belongings like simple utensils, broken furniture, and personal items hint at the suddenness of the departure. The primary explanation for this mass exodus is the 1923 population exchange between Greece and Turkey. This agreement mandated the relocation of Orthodox Christians from Turkey to Greece and Muslims from Greece to Turkey. While the exchange explains the reason for the relocation, the state of the village raises questions. Why were belongings left behind? Did other factors, perhaps fear or urgency, contribute to the swift and complete abandonment? Kayaköy stands as a poignant, mysterious monument to a historical event, its silence speaking volumes about the lives that vanished from its streets. It's a place where history feels frozen in time, waiting for its full story to be understood. The life of an Ottoman sultan was often one of immense power, but for some, it began in terrifying confinement. Sultan Ibrahim I, who reigned in the mid-17th century, is a prime example, earning the chilling moniker, the Mad. Ibrahim spent his formative years imprisoned within the palace walls, specifically in a section known as the caves or the cage. This was a gilded prison where potential heirs were kept isolated to prevent them from plotting against the reigning sultan. His long confinement, coupled with the execution of his brothers, deeply affected Ibrahim's mental state. When he finally ascended the throne, his reign was marked by increasingly erratic and eccentric behaviors. He developed extravagant obsessions, most famously a bizarre fascination with furs. He reportedly demanded rooms be decorated entirely with fur and even forced his courtiers to wear furs regardless of the weather. His madness also manifested in cruelty and violence. Ibrahim was known for ordering brutal executions, often based on paranoia or fleeting whims, creating an atmosphere of terror within the court. His erratic rule and increasingly destructive actions eventually became unbearable for the powerful figures in the Ottoman court. The Grand Vizier, the ulema, religious scholars, and the Janissaries, elite troops, conspired against him. In 1648, Ibrahim was dethroned and imprisoned once more. His reign ended tragically and violently when he was executed just days later, a stark and grim conclusion to a life shaped by confinement and madness. Istanbul's Sultan Ahmed Mosque, famously known as the Blue Mosque, is an architectural marvel and the symbol of the city. However, its construction was initially shrouded in a bizarre controversy centered on its minarets. When the mosque was completed in the early 17th century, it boasted 6 towering minarets. This number was highly unusual for an imperial mosque at the time. The controversy arose because the only other mosque in the world with 6 minarets was the Masjid al-Haram, the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Islam's holiest site. Matching its number of minarets was seen by some as an act of arrogance or even sacrilege. Rumors spread rapidly throughout the Islamic world. Some whispered that the Ottomans were inviting divine punishment by presuming to equal the sacred mosque in Mecca. Others saw it as an audacious display of Ottoman power challenging the spiritual hierarchy. Sultan Ahmed I, the mosque's patron, faced significant backlash and pressure to resolve the issue. He needed a solution that would appease the critics and respect the sanctity of Mecca. The resolution was as grand as the mosque itself. Sultan Ahmed I decided to fund the construction of a 7th minaret for the Grand Mosque in Mecca, ensuring it retained its unique status with the highest number. This act diffused the controversy, allowing the Blue Mosque to stand with its 6 minarets while reaffirming the primacy of Mecca. It's a strange tale of architectural design causing a theological and political crisis. Istanbul's Yedikule Fortress, or the Fortress of the Seven Towers, stands as a formidable historical structure. While it served various purposes over the centuries, its most infamous role was that of a terrifying prison. Known as the Yedikule Dungeons, this fortress held a grim assortment of captives. Imprisoned within its thick walls were foreign ambassadors who had fallen out of favor, Ottoman princes seen as threats, and even sultans who had been dethroned. The fortress is shrouded in dark tales of ghosts, torture chambers, and unspeakable cruelty. Its very name evokes shivers, conjuring images of despair and suffering endured within its confines. Whispers of gruesome practices carried out within the dungeons persist through history. While difficult to verify definitively, the reputation of Yedikule as a place of torment is deeply ingrained in local lore. Among the most chilling legends are tales of prisoners being fed to lions kept within the fortress walls. While historical evidence for this specific practice is scarce, the legend highlights the perceived brutality of the place. Yedikule stands today, its stones silent witnesses to centuries of imprisonment and death. It remains a place where the bizarre and terrifying history of the Ottoman state feels palpable, a true castle of the insane in historical memory. Our next bizarre phenomenon takes us away from the grand cities to the volcanic landscapes of Kula in Turkey's Manisa province. Here, nature itself seems to defy conventional understanding. In this unique geological area, there are rocks that locals claim appear to increase in size over time. They are not simply eroding or changing shape. They seem to be actively growing. These formations are known locally as growing stones or Kula stones. The phenomenon has long puzzled residents and visitors alike, giving rise to local myths and explanations. Science offers a more grounded, though still fascinating, explanation. The Kula region is known for its relatively recent volcanic activity, earning it the nickname Turkey's Pompeii. The growing effect is attributed to the unique composition of the volcanic rocks and the interaction of minerals with water and air. Chemical reactions cause outer layers to expand, giving the appearance of growth. However, local myths offer a more romantic, albeit tragic, explanation. One tale speaks of cursed lovers turned to stone, their forms slowly expanding as their sorrow deepens through the ages. Whether explained by geology or legend, the growing stones of Kula remain a bizarre and intriguing natural phenomenon, a place where the earth itself seems to be alive in strange ways. Imagine a normal day in Istanbul, the sun high in the sky, and suddenly, without warning, the city is plunged into darkness. This is precisely what happened in 1782. On a seemingly ordinary afternoon, a thick, black cloud rolled over Istanbul, completely obscuring the sun. Daylight vanished, and the city was enveloped in an unnatural, terrifying gloom. The sudden darkness caused widespread panic among the populace. Many believed it was a sign of divine wrath, the end times, or some other supernatural event. Religious fervor swept through the streets. Accounts from the time describe animals reacting with extreme distress. Birds stopped singing and fell silent, while domestic animals reportedly became agitated and went berserk in the sudden, inexplicable darkness. Later scientific analysis has linked this bizarre event to a distant, powerful volcanic eruption or a significant climate anomaly. The sheer volume of ash and aerosols ejected into the atmosphere could have traveled across continents. One possible source identified by researchers is the Leki eruption in Iceland, which occurred between 1783 and 1784. While the timing isn't a perfect match, the scale of Leki was immense and known to affect weather patterns globally. Regardless of the precise cause, the day Istanbul turned dark at noon remains a chilling historical event, a stark reminder of how vulnerable human civilization is to the unpredictable forces of nature. These 7 bizarre events offer far more than just strange anecdotes from the past. They provide a captivating, sometimes unsettling, glimpse into the hidden corners of Turkey's history. They highlight the multifaceted and often unpredictable nature of the human story. From the audacious dreams of inventors to the madness of rulers and the tragedies of displacement, history is rarely a simple, linear progression. Furthermore, these tales underscore the profound and often unpredictable impact of forces beyond human control, both the internal forces that drive individuals to eccentricity or cruelty, and the external forces of nature that can plunge a city into darkness or shape the very stones beneath our feet. Exploring these bizarre moments reminds us that truth is indeed often stranger than fiction, and that the past, especially in a land as ancient and complex as Turkey, holds endless mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Please like and subscribe the Turkish Odyssey. It is free and means world to us. Let's journey together for peace, love and harmony. See you in the next adventure.